Well, today, guys, we're going to be checking out the Orange Rockerverb 50 Mark II. This is the first time I've ever played through a real Orange amp, and I'll explain in a little bit. But you guys know how much I love Jim Root and Jim Root's sound, so obviously that spiked my interest. I can't wait to share this amplifier with you. Let's get into it. So what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Yes, we have an Orange amplifier on this channel. The first time we've ever had anything Orange on this channel. And again, it's the first time I've ever played through a real Orange amplifier. Now, when I say real Orange amplifier, what I mean is this. Yes, I've owned an Orange amplifier in my lifetime, but it was the Orange RT, the Crush, the 20-watt combo head that I had when I was stationed in Germany and I was traveling all over the world. I didn't really have the means to have a whole bunch of gear. I was living in and out of a barracks room, and so that was my only amplifier at the time. And I really wasn't playing that much, so I really didn't need a giant, Orange Rockerverb or anything like that. But now that part of my life has since ended, it's a whole different chapter of my life. Now I have the means to have some real gear, some real amplifiers, and now I've scooped up an Orange Rockerverb Mark II 50-watt head. So the specs of this amplifier that I've bought secondhand, it has two EL34s, 4 12AX7s in the preamps, and it has two 12AT7s for the reverb and one 12AT7 for the effects loop. So today's video is very similar to what I've been doing lately. First, we're going to do a full-on demo song, and then I'm going to give you the isolated rhythm guitars of that said demo song, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. So for this song, guys, I'm using my Jim Root Strat and Drop B. Obviously, we're going to use some Jim Root stuff for an Orange demo, right? And I just have to say, guys, for this song, I'm very, very proud of it. It's one of the best songs I've ever written. Personally, I'm just super proud of how it sounds and how it came out. So I think you guys will really enjoy it. And I think that can be heavily attributed to the sound of the Orange Rockerverb 50 Mark II. All right, without further ado, here's a demo. Alright guys, so that's the full-on Rockerverb 50 Mark II in a full-on mix. Now I'm going to give you the rhythm isolated guitars just so you guys can have a little bit more context. I'll play a clip of that song just so you guys can hear what the guitar sounds like through the amplifier by itself. Alright guys, so now let's talk about this amplifier. There's only really one negative I could say about this amplifier, and that the gain stage just doesn't quite get there, in my personal opinion, for modern metal. It just needed a little extra help to get that sound that I personally go for, and I just used the tube screamer on that song and for the rhythm stuff, and you know, it just cleaned up perfectly. But by itself, the amp's gain stage is just a little lacking in the overall preamp section and the rowdiness, as I always say. It just didn't quite get there, but a tube screamer, just, you know, the classic volume all the way up, tone in the middle, and overdrive all the way down. It just did the trick, and that was a quick and easy fix. But apart from that, guys, that's the only real negative I can say about this amplifier. I have some serious talking points I want to talk about in the positives of this amp. I'll start with the overall positive of this amplifier, and that is the gain stage. The way it reacted to my guitar is it has this very dry gain stage, but it doesn't have that full-on dryness of, like, let's say my EVH amplifier. The way I could best describe this Orange Rockerverb 50 Mark II is that it is a nice bridge between an EVH and a Mesa Boogie. It has that creamy saturation that I love in my Mesa Boogie, but it doesn't come with all the side effects of a Mesa Boogie, and that is the flubbiness low end and the almost too much creamy saturation crunch. But it doesn't go full on dry, aggressive, tight, super, you know, articulate gain stage that, like, say, an EVH or a Randall has. So I really liked it because it was a nice bridge, again, just a nice middle ground for what I like in some of my amplifiers that I own. It has a creamy saturation, but it's a bit more drier than a Mesa Boogie, and it kind of leans towards the EVH side of things, but it doesn't have the full-blown out-of-controlness of an EVH amplifier. I hope you guys can understand that. Another positive is the reverb built into this amplifier. Now, if you heard in that demo song, the lead stuff, I had my Poontang Boomerang, my delay pedal by Steel Panther, in front of the amplifier, and then I had a little bit of reverb on top of that as well. For whatever reason, I just really dug the sound of the reverb in this amplifier, and it's a nice added feature. And one final positive, guys, is the low end on this amplifier. This low end on this Orange Rockerverb 50 Mark II is very, very tight. So again, kind of going in between an EVH and a Mesa Boogie. It has a tight low end like an EVH, but it doesn't have that flubbiness like a Mesa Boogie, but it still has the creaminess as well. You know, it's like a really, really interesting sounding amplifier, and I really dug the low end, how I didn't have to fight with it, or I didn't have to fix it a ton in post, you know what I mean? I didn't have to, like, put a bunch of multi-band compression and a huge cut to get rid of all the low end flub. It stayed tight, it worked well for me. I didn't have to fight it, and I didn't have to try to change the overall sound after I recorded my takes. So all in all, guys, I'm really digging the sound of this Orange Rockerverb. It really, really has me interested in other Orange amplifiers to see what else is offered by Orange, because I'm pretty naive and pretty new to the game in the Orange side of things. So it really has me interested. So guys, a huge thank you to all my patrons, a huge thank you to my new viewers here. If you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, I really appreciate it. And a huge thank you to everybody who's continuing to support me and let me do what I do on this platform. I really, really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. And as always, it doesn't go unnoticed. All my albums, EPs, social media links, everything is down below in the description of this video if you guys want to check those out. I'm out of here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay metal, and I'll see y'all next time.